Hi, my name's Sean and I'm a business development professional here in Vancouver. And before I worked with Chris, I was struggling to find direction. I think like many people coming into their 40s do, I was looking at life and inventorying what was what. And for me, family life was great. I enjoyed my job, but I found that something was missing. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it, let alone come up with the solutions to those roadblocks. So faced with the roadblocks of that specifically, I found myself overstressing and obsessing about figuring out, why I wasn't quite all put together and being able to find direction for what I wanted, in my life going forward. In fact, it caused me to hyper focus on the future instead of the present, which at the moment and at the time I needed to be in the present because we just introduced our firstborn child to our family. So this is when I decided to work with Chris, and what I really enjoyed about working with him was the way that he led conversations and helped me to self-discover what was most important to me as an individual, as a jump-off point for the rest of our sessions about actioning what needs to happen next in my life and actually going about it. In fact, what was great was at the end of each session, we had action items and accountabilities to achieve that, I would report back. So I kept my feet to the fire about actually working through some of the things that we talked about proactively, even before the sessions were ultimately over. So you saw a lot of progress along the way. It brought a lot of clarity to what was next. Like I said, prioritizing what was important and looking at options, and Chris's insight about life and what's possible and what's limiting you, and all those kind of things came together to culminate what I felt like was a pretty good plan and just an exercise in bringing that clarity so that I could proceed accordingly and be present with my family while building my future accordingly. Not only did we talk about a professional capacity, but also my personal life and my hobbies and the things in life that I enjoy or that bug me. And all that conversation culminated into really a lot of self-discovery and just formulating ways of brainstorming through that kind of roadblock and the mental fog that I was having just about going forward. So yeah, I would highly recommend working with Chris as your coach if you're looking for a similar shift or change in life. And lastly, Chris, thank you. It was a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to catching up over time and loved learning about you and your family and your life along the way as well too. So again, I highly recommend working with Chris if you're in the same or similar position that I was in a few months prior. You'll get a lot of value out of working with him. Thanks, Chris.